Welcome to the Alex Auto YouTube channel. Welcome, guys. We're live. We're live on the channel. I got my boy Drae here, and we got my guy Real Power says, let's go, Real Power. You're the first one in here. I got my boy
Let's
Drae here.
go.
He's gonna
Let's
show
get it.
y'all. I've been telling you guys, this guy is a beast. He's gonna show y'all how to take your credit to the 800s in the next 60 days. He's the man. He's the real deal. So you guys better pay attention. You better get your notepads out. You got to get your papers out. Get your whatever you use to take notes and make sure you got everything together out. All right. So I'm going to introduce my man. Welcome to the channel, Drae Pitt, and talk to the people. How's it going, bro?
My dog, I appreciate you having me, man. It's good, man. Happy Sunday to everybody that popped on, bro. Happy Sunday. Drop some gems, man. See how we can help the people for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And y'all in here, make sure you smash that like button. Everybody on playback, make sure you smash that like button because we're gonna give out a whole lot of sauce. I want you guys to also follow my guy on YouTube. All right, he's dropping all the sauce. You guys think I drop everything at the car rentals? He's dropping everything on credit. All right, so make sure you follow his YouTube channel because he's gonna give you all the game. So I'm not gonna delay anymore because you guys are here for the info. We're gonna start. All right, we're gonna get right into the questions. I'm gonna let my guy answer all the questions here. So, assuming I have a terrible credit score, right? I want to give you a scenario. We're starting from
hmm
scratch. There's nothing on my credit. All right, it's completely blank. I don't have nothing late. I don't have any derogatories, but I haven't started credit at all. All right, I've never financed anything. Where do I start, bro? Talk to me. Where do I start?
So it's multiple different ways that you can start rebuilding. That's the easy part because it's like you're like a newborn baby with credit, right? So you can kind of shape and mold it to really what you want it to be. You know what I mean? So where I would start is the foundation. And on your foundation, you want to have easy approval. So everyone's approved for what's called credit. What's called out there is called credit builders. So for one, I would start with one that's called Credit Strong Magnum. I would start with Credit Strong Magnum. They have a $2,000 line that will report to your credit for just $30 a month. So that's where I would start to lay the foundation. And on top of that, if you need history, which if you have a blank file, you're gonna need history. So I would look to add right after Credit Strong Magnum, I would look to add what's called rent reporters. Rent reporters, you can backdate your rent. If you've been paying rent, if you stay with family or friends, mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever, and it doesn't even have to be any of those people. You can literally just pay a friend and have them say that they report your rent positive every single month. So that's something that you can backdate as late as 10 years. So you can throw that on your credit report. Now we got history and we got credit lines reporting on our credit report. So that's two trade lines that we got reporting on our score right there, right?
Hold on,
So,
slow down. I
mhm,
gotta stop you right there,
mhm,
my guy. You just dropped a
mhm.
whole lot of sauce right there. So let's roll it back because I just want to make sure everybody understood exactly what you just said. So you
Yep.
said, correct me if I'm wrong, Credit Magnum, you can get a $2,000 line reported on your credit for just $30 a month. Is that correct?
$30 a month. $30 a month. And the crazy thing about Credit Strong is it's no prepayment penalty and you can cancel at any time. So you're
Wow.
only using this just to build the foundation. Because now when you're making that 30 a buck, when you're making that $30 a month payment, they're putting it in a CD. So they're taking a portion of that payment and they're putting it into a CD for you. So when you do call and cancel it, you get majority of your money back. So now you get
Wow.
positive payment history every single month. And then when you cancel it, you get majority of your money back. So that's a
Wow.
major cheat code right there. Yep.
Wow. So you're basically
Yep.
getting credit for free, essentially.
Yep.
Bro,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
crazy. Did you guys hear that? He's just showed you how to get a $2,000 line reported. You start with
Yep.
$30 a month, and then you get all most of your money back
Yep.
after you
Majority
cancel.
of your payments, you get it back. Yep.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, talk to us about the history. All right, I know you mentioned rent reporters. What is rent reporters? How do people backdate? Give us the game on that.
So rent reporters is basically it's another credit builder that you can add on your credit report. Everyone's typically approved for this. It's 99 bucks to get started and then you pay them a small monthly fee and they report your rent. So like I said, if you've been paying rent for 5 years, 10 years, you can backdate all of that history and throw that onto your credit report. giving you a solid foundation to start. And that's just like I said, to start. This is not, something you want to run into the bank with after just adding these two primaries onto your credit report.
Okay, cool. So you rent reporters, $99 a month. You can essentially report rent backdated, right? And how long did you say they can backdate it again?
You can backdate rent reporters 10 years, 15 years.
Wow.
You can backdate rent reporters. Yep. And then another one that you can also use is Rental Karma and Boom Pay. So those are also ones that you can use for your rent that you can also backdate. So, rent reporters is just kind of one of my favorite ones out there. But it's a few of them that you can use. And if you really want to get savvy, you can do more than one of these. You can do more than one of
Wow.
these at a time. Yeah, you can do more than one of these at a time. Yep. So,
Wow.
that's
Nah.
really where I would start to build the foundation, and then I'll get into some credit unions for us.
All right. Hold on. Before we get into the credit unions, because you're getting saucy. Yeah, you're getting saucy, and I don't want this to go over the people's heads. All right, you're getting real
No doubt,
saucy. All
no
right,
doubt,
so
bro,
you
no
can.
doubt.
I'm gonna go back to rent reporters because I want people to really understand this because
hmm
you can tell the people, Drae, what how important is credit age on your credit report?
Credit age is very, very important because it shows lenders that you actually have the history. When you're new to credit, they they kind of shaky on you because it's not a lot of data on you. So the more history you have on your credit report, the easier it is for lenders to trust you from that standpoint. Because age is 15% of your profile makeup. So it's 15% of your profile makeup is age of credit. So the
Yep.
older the accounts, the better. Closing old cards, they actually hurt you. So if you do have old credit cards, just a quick gem. If you do have old credit cards, keep them open. Keep them open.
Amazing. Amazing. So you can essentially get 10 years of age, which is one of the most important and shows credibility on your report just from using rental reporters. That's crazy.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff on the sauce. And then obviously after that, you can build up your credit and then you can start getting saucy with the credit unions. But I want us to get into like how to actually start cleaning out your report. All right. Because a lot of people want to know, okay, I have late payments, I have collections, I have bankruptcies. All right. So if I have all of these things, where do I even start to start cleaning out my report?
So where I would start is simple. It's called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. These laws they protect the consumer. So these laws they protect you. So every item on your credit report has to be 100% correct. It has to be reporting correct. If it's not, they have to remove it by law. And 85 85% of credit reports they have inaccuracies on them.
You said 85% of credit reports have inaccuracies on them. So that means that
85%.
that means that more than 8 out of 10 people have something reporting that shouldn't be reporting.
Correct. Whether it be names, addresses, collections that shouldn't be there, charge offs that shouldn't be there, even bankruptcies, you know. So, this
Wow.
stuff has to be accurate. Yep. It's got to
Wow.
be accurate.
So walk me through the process, right? I have late payments, bankruptcies, collections. How do I where do I start to remove them? Like where do I go first? And then how do I get these off? All right, walk me through the process.
So, if you have collections on your credit report, you can dispute collections simply by using Chat GPT. If you have
Wow.
Chat GPT, and when I say Chat GPT, you can use the paid version of Chat GPT and you can simply download your credit report and pop it into Chat GPT and have them draft you dispute letters right on Chat GPT.
Wow. So you
Yep.
and ChatGPT is free. ChatGPT is free. All right, so you don't
Yep.
even have to have the paid version. So you're telling me
Yep.
I can pull my credit report, drop it into ChatGPT, and say, "Hey, ChatGPT, dispute it." What's the prompt? What should I be telling ChatGPT to do exactly?
So when you enter in your credit report, you want to tell ChatGPT to use case law. Use the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FDCPA, which is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Plug those two in together, mix it in with case law, and then have them dispute the inaccurate items that's on your credit report. And ChatGPT will find the items for you. It will find the items for you, and then you can simply send that dispute letter from ChatGPT and send that to the credit bureau's certified mail.
Wow. Wow, that's
So
amazing, bro.
that's really how you can really start disputing your credit on your own. Me and my team, we use different tactics. We use the FCRA, we do use the FDCPA, and we also use things like the CFPB, and we use the BBB, the Better Business Bureau. We dispute multiple ways. So, it's multiple ways to skin a cat. Um, I can't give y'all all the sauce on the call because that's what me and my team use.
Okay.
As far as like, it's multiple different ways, like I said, that you can do it. So it's like digging into the BBB, digging into the CFPB. Those are different tactics. So, but as far as you just disputing it flat out with the credit bureaus, ChatGPT, and it's very, very easy. Just use case law. Case law will get this done for you because it itemizes the negative items that's on your credit report and breaks them down, and you can dispute them one by one. You can dispute every single item one by one and get this stuff deleted off your credit report.
No,
Yep.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So let's roll it back real quick because I'm trying to get the people to get this done in the next 60 days. So we know that we can pull our credit report, put it into Chat GPT, it pulls out the letters, and then we send it to the credit bureau. When should we wait to do the next dispute?
So I'll give y'all a quick hack. If you are disputing with these credit bureaus. So what one trick that me and my team we do use to speed up this process, and this is how we're able to delete a lot of items within 30 days, maybe 60 days as well, is backdate your letters. So
Wow.
today is 12/14. So today is the 14th of December. So if you are sending out a letter and you want them to respond by January 1st, you want to backdate that letter and say you sent it December the 1st. They only have 30 days to respond. So they have to respond in 30 days. If they don't respond in 30 days, they have to remove it from your credit report.
That's real saucy right there. I hope you guys heard that. He just
So
dropped a whole
backdate
lot
it.
of sauce.
Yeah,
He just dropped a whole
backdated
lot of
two
sauce.
weeks. Backdated 2 weeks. So backdate your letters 2 weeks, and it speeds up the process. So they have to respond within 30 days. And you got to remember, when you send these letters in, no real human being is really looking at these letters. It's a system that they use. It's called eOscar, and it's all ran by 3-digit codes. So if you've ever taken a look at your credit report and you see where it says 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late, what's happening is the institutions, they're sending a 3-digit code from the bank over to the credit bureaus, and that's eOscar's picking that up, and that's how that ends up on your credit report.
Wow. Wow,
Yep.
I didn't even know that. Bro, that's
Yep.
crazy. I didn't even know that. So you're telling me
Yep.
that when people are doing these disputes, it's a
Mm-hmm.
machine that's essentially looking at it, right? So
eOscar.
eOscar, specifically eOscar. So
Yep.
basically we can it's a machine, so we can hack it, right? We can hack the machine. That's where the credit hacks
That's
come into play.
that's why it's so many inaccuracies, because it's a computer. So it's a computer. So even if you're looking at your credit report and you see where it says 30, if it says 30 days late on Experian, and then you look and it says 60 days late, or you were actually on time with Equifax and TransUnion, that's not 100% accurate. That's grounds for deletion. So it's got to come off the credit report.
Wow. That's a
Yep.
real gem right there because I've had that where I've had a late payment reporting to one but not the other two, and I didn't even know that it was because of the machines, right? And it makes a lot of sense because when you look at a credit report, you see a lot of old data, old addresses, right?
Yep.
I've had situations where my parents' address has showed up in my credit report, and it makes
Yep.
complete sense because it's a machine that's doing it. So tell us,
Yep.
bro, like what don't give him too much sauce. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Give him all the sauce. All right. Give us like two hacks that you would use, right? When you're doing these dispute letters, right? We talked about collections. Let's jump into late payments specifically. How do we get some late payments off? Some just a couple of hacks.
So late payments. Typically, what I use for late payments, you can use US code 1666B.
Wow.
It's the timing of payments. It's the timing of payments for late payments. Um, US code 1666B. So you can use that, and I'll give you two more. That's very important. Is U.S. Code 1681I is reinvestigation. So the bureaus, they must reinvestigate. They must investigate disputes within 30 days. And then here's another one is U.S. Code 1681EB. That's the maximum accuracy. So the bureaus, they must ensure that all the information that's on your credit report is reporting accurate. So it has to be accurate. And a lot of this stuff is not accurate. If you just print your credit report and you highlight all of the stuff that's inaccurate on your credit report, that's the stuff that you want to dispute. If it doesn't come off in the first round, dispute it the second round, the same exact way. If it doesn't come off in the second round, dispute it the third round, the same exact way. Dispute this stuff until it's off your credit report. Don't give up. Sometimes it might take you 3 rounds. It might take you 4 rounds because you're doing it on your own. I have a staff of 20. So I have 20 expert disputers that go over my clients' files, and that's how we're able to get this stuff deleted a lot faster because they're experts. They're already trained in the field. They know what to look for. They know how to attack these accounts. So it's a little bit easier, but anyone can fix their own credit themselves. You just have to take the time. So it's 2 ways you're going to do it. You're either going to pay with time or you're going to pay with money. You feel
No,
me?
man, that's great. That's awesome, man. You're dropping a whole lot of gems, guys. I hope you
Yep.
guys heard that. He dropped some sauce. I don't even know any of this. All right. Obviously, he's the expert here, so he knows all of this. So if you're enjoying this video, make sure you smash the like button. We dropped Drae's link right to his completely free Skool community where you get access to the information he just gave you. I know y'all ain't gonna remember it, so go into that link, jump in the Skool community. That way you can get access to the information he just
Being,
gave y'all.
being that you brought the school group up, bro, I ain't want to cut you off, but being that you brought the school group up, I'll give y'all some real quick sauce, real quick, because I know we were talking about,
Go for it. Go for it.
old addresses and misspelled names, and this even works with hard inquiries. So if you ever been to a dealership, and my man's a car guy, he know how they run your credit report into the ground with inquiries. If you ever been to a dealership and you went to apply for a car and they ran your credit 15 times, now you got 15 inquiries with banks that you're not even doing business with. So inside of my school group, in the community, in the classroom section, I have a guide that's in there. It's called the 24-hour inquiry removal guide. Use this guide. You can literally use this guide, call all 3 of the credit bureaus, and you can clean all of that personal information up, all misspelled names, all addresses, employers, phone numbers. We want all of that stuff off the credit report. And then you can also add in inquiries, hard inquiries that you didn't that aren't open and are attached to your credit profile. Add all of those inquiries in the next 24 to 48 hours. They're going to be removed from your credit report.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing because bro, I cannot tell you how many calls I've done with people saying, "Hey, man, I have 15 inquiries, 30 inquiries because I want to go buy a car at a dealership." I hear this almost every single day. So
Yep,
you
I
guys
provide
should be
that
tapped
guide,
in.
man.
Tap
Yep.
in with them so you can get your inquiries off, okay? Because that's absolutely insane. And on top of that, it's completely free. And I was just talking to my guy before this started, and he was saying that he's gonna restructure his program. So I don't know how long it's gonna be free for. I would just tell him to keep it open for this live, just so that you guys can get in. Because a lot of y'all are in my Facebook community, and I want to make sure you guys get access to the info. That way, you can actually move yourself up into the next level. So don't wait. It's completely free. Jump in there right now. We're going to continue the live. He's dropping a lot of sauce, so I want to hear more sauce, all right? So you just gave us 3 U.S. consumer laws to remove late payments, all right? So we talked about late payments. We talked about collections. You dropped the sauce in your face in your school community for inquiries. So let's get to bankruptcy specifically because I know some people have them. I know bankruptcies become a legal matter. What's the play on that? How do we get those off?
So bankruptcies are actually a little bit easier than what people think, and it's all because bankruptcies aren't supposed to be on your credit report. So I always tell any of my clients or anybody that's even looking for help with bankruptcy, you can simply write the bankruptcy court where you discharge your bankruptcy, where it was filed. You can write the bankruptcy court simply ask them and say, hey, I was just reviewing my credit report, and it looks like you guys are reporting to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And they will simply write you a letter back stating that they do not report to any of the three major credit bureaus,
Wow.
Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. So that right there, once you receive that bankruptcy letter, that's grounds for deletion.
Wow.
Package that up, send that letter with your proof to the credit bureaus, and then they have 30 days to respond. If they don't respond, send that same when you send out the letter, send it certified mail with the green with the receipt. And if they don't respond, you take a picture of that mail that you sent to the credit bureaus, and you send that, and you send what you sent to the credit bureaus to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Wow.
They're going to get that bankruptcy deleted off your credit report. The hardest one to get deleted off of a credit report is TransUnion. It might take you 2 rounds instead of just one. But typically, with my clients, we get them removed in 30 days.
Wow. 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 So you're telling me that bankruptcies aren't even supposed to be reporting to our credit reports? What
So I'll
why?
tell you what's happening.
Yeah,
I'll
tell us
tell you
what's
what's
happening.
happening. If you've ever heard of these smaller data furnishers, like LexisNexis, Pacer, AWS, CoreLogic, it's about 25 other ones. These little small guys, they're owned by the bigger bureaus, so they actually house all of that information. So LexisNexis, Pacer, those are the bureaus that's actually pushing it to the big three. That's why it's reporting on your credit report. So you can opt out of all of these bureaus as well. Just kind of do your homework on them. You can say, um, you can literally Google them: Pacer, LexisNexis. They're all going to pop up, and then you actually have the right to go in and opt out of those, so they can't collect on your personal information anymore.
Wow, that's insane. That's absolutely amazing, man. Bro, you're dropping a lot of sauce. I hope people are taking notes. All right, I hope you guys are paying attention because he's dropping
No question.
basically all the game, bro.
No doubt. No doubt, bro.
he's
No
giving us
doubt.
he's giving us the game, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you, my
Yep.
guy. So I want us to get into the end of the credit building. All right. So at the start of this call, right, of this live, we talked about if you had nothing on your profile, where to start, right? He talked about using Credit Strong, right? And then getting a $2,000 line reporting for $30 a month. And then that's not even the best part. The best part is that after you cancel, you get most of your money back. Because that's crazy. So you're basically getting a $2,000 line reported for free. And then
Right.
you're getting age 10 years with rent reporters. So let's say we've built that out a little bit. Where do we go next? How do we start establishing a relationship with the banks? Because at the end of the day, most people start building their credit report or fixing their credit to get money. So where do we start establishing relationships with the banks?
So what I would do, the first thing that I would do is I would head to a website called ibank.net. Ibank.net is basically going to show you all of the banks and credit unions that are in your city or in your state. That's where I would start. So when you pull this website out, they're going to show you the largest institutions in your city and
Wow.
state. And I would pick 1 to 3 of those institutions being smaller regional banks or local credit unions. And why I say this is because when you're dealing with smaller regional banks and local credit unions, they're more relationship based. So they're more to lend to us based off of the relationship that we have instead of just our credit report. So that's why I always tell people start there, because that's where you're going to build, and they're going to give you higher limits than any of the bigger banks. Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, we want to save them for after we've already built this foundation. So when you actually get into any of these credit unions, you want to look for something what's called a secured loan. That I would literally start there. Deposit relationship, maybe a portion of your paycheck, set that up direct deposit with the credit union, and then I would look to do what's called a secure loan. That would
Okay.
be the next step.
No,
Yep.
that's a gem right there. I've used secure loans myself when I was building up my credit.
Yes,
So how
sir.
easy? Tell us how easy it is to get a secure loan.
Well, secure loan is really, really easy to get. And I like secure loans better than secure credit cards because
Okay.
secure loans, they don't tie up your capital. So, you know, when you go out to get a secure credit card, 200 bucks, 300, 500 bucks, whatever that is, whatever that balance that you put onto that credit card with your initial investment, it ties up your money from, you know, it could be anywhere from 6 months to a year that it ties up that money. So when you actually do a secure loan, it does the opposite. You get your money right back. So you're borrowing against your own money. So let's just say, for an example, you have $1,000 and you are in a institution. I'll just use Navy Fed for an example. Navy Fed has what's called the pledge loan. It's the same thing as a secure loan with these other institutions. You can literally take that $1,000, put it into your savings account, and borrow against that $1,000. Soon as you borrow against it, they're going to release the funds right back to you. So now you have a loan open for $1,000. They release the $1,000 right back to you in your account, and then you can get a jump start. Take that same $1,000 and pay down 90% of that loan. So when it hits your credit report, now you have a 90% paid off loan reporting on your credit report with just 30 days.
Wow. That's. I hope you guys heard that. That's a gem. That's a
And
gem
it's
for
no
credit
credit
building.
check. It's
Whew.
no credit check. No credit check. So they're not going to pull your credit as well. So they're not going to pull your credit at most of these institutions. They're not going to pull your credit as well. So now you're just manufacturing things onto your credit report instead of having to go out and take a hard pull on, let's say, a subprime credit card like a Credit One. These act way better because now once we let that secure loan age out for about 30 to 45 days, we started that deposit relationship. Now we can actually apply for their own credit card that's unsecured.
Wow, wow, bro, you just dropped a huge gem there. I'm not. I hope you guys caught that because I'm not even going back on that. All right, we're just gonna move forward because that was crazy.
No,
That was
no
crazy game
doubt.
right there.
No
That was
doubt.
crazy
No
game
doubt,
right there.
bro.
Cool, cool.
No doubt.
So we can get secure products and establish relationships, bro. That's
Yep.
that's crazy, bro. So now we just showed you guys basically how to build your credit, how to clean your credit, and how to establish relationships at the same time. That way, in 30, 60 days, you're funding ready. You can go from a 560 credit score into the 800s and be ready to go straight away, just off of what he just told us. All right, bro.
Yep.
I appreciate you for coming on. What is the last thing you want to say? Obviously, I want to talk to you some more about where you started, your background, because you told me a story, and I want everyone to hear, and especially for my audience because of what I teach specifically. So it's gonna be interesting to hear that story. But as
No
far
doubt.
as the credit game, bro, what do you want to leave us with?
As far as the credit game, so I would say if you are having trouble with your credit, join a Skool group. I host free calls there every single Wednesday. If you need help with your credit, let's start today. Don't push it off another 3 months, 6 months, or another year. Start working on your credit today if you need credit help. If you need the help, it's not gonna fix itself. It's not gonna fix itself. So, and don't think that it can't be fixed. I've had so many clients come to me, they're like, man, I didn't do credit repair because I didn't think this could be fixed. If it's anything that's on the credit report, it can come off.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I appreciate that. Hey, that's sauce right there. You guys heard that? I know a few of you reached out to me for credit help. That's why we did this specifically. So you should definitely not be waiting because there's an opportunity cost of time. Every single day you wait is progress that you lose. All right. So
Yep.
tap in with my guy if you need credit help. All right. I see a question in the chat, so I'll definitely we'll get to the question. But I want you specifically, and you guys feel free to drop your questions. All right, because I want to ask him specifically about his journey and his story because I want you guys to hear this. All right. I think it's important to hear the journey of people when you see them where they are at, so that you understand where they came from because none of us are perfect. All right. We all had a bad start, but the start doesn't matter. It's about what you do with what you have. So, my bro, tell us where you started as far as your career wise and how you ended up here.
So career wise, I'll just tell you guys where I started. Me, I how I grew up. I didn't have a lot. I'll just start there. I didn't have a lot. Public housing. Grandparents raised me, mom and dad in and out of prison. Not gonna bore y'all with the whole long story, but after I got out of high school, I was on the wrong side of the tracks. So, I grew up seeing people make fast money. That's the life I chose. I was 18, fresh out of high school. Um, so I went down that path, didn't work out, got into some trouble. Then I came home and I actually fixed myself. Man, I got married, had kids, and then I was always a salesman at heart. So this is something where I started working into a car dealership. I was selling Fords. So previous to me starting my own credit repair business, I was selling Fords. I sold Fords. I was the lead salesperson at my dealership for 5 years. So I was a 20 plus car guy a month. So I led that dealership for 5 years. And if you don't know what receivership is, my dealership went under receivership my 5th year in the dealership. So it was tanking. The owner was kind of like going through some things and he was getting sued. So the dealership was going under receivership. Ford Motor Company came into my dealership. They took all of our keys. We couldn't sell cars. So my GM, he actually fired everyone that was on the sales floor besides myself. So when the time came, a new dealership, a new owner was getting ready to take over the dealership. I was prepping to become a sales manager for my GM. When my GM opened up the new dealership, they made this young kid my boss. So they made this young kid my boss. So that made me still a worker, a salesman, not a sales manager. So um, 2 months went by. I let the year play out. 2 months went by, and then the beginning of the year, 2020, I started packing my desk and I moved on. So I went to my GM and I asked him this question right here. I told my GM, I told him I was quitting, and my GM asked me this question. He said, "Hey Drae, can you give me 2 weeks?" And I asked him this. I said, if you were getting ready to fire me, would you give me a 2 weeks notice? And he said no. And that was the answer that I needed right there. So I started packing my stuff. I went out and I actually started where I started growing my business. I use DoorDash, I use Walmart Spark, I use all these gig Uber Eats, Uber driver, all of these gig delivery driver jobs while I was working on studying that Fair Credit Reporting Act, helping my family and friends fix their credit, me even master and fix my own credit. And this was back in 2021. So I studied it and then I started getting people results. And then here we are, you know.
Wow, bro, that's a fantastic story, and there's a reason why I wanted people to hear that, because everybody is so concerned about where they're at. Like, oh, are they good enough? Do they have what it takes? And it's like you just gotta make use of what you have. All right,
Yep.
nobody ever starts perfectly. It's impossible. All right, so I appreciate you for telling that story. And it's crazy that you were able to use platforms like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, right? Those gig economy workers, um, to be able to jumpstart your business, because it gave you, right, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, it gave you the flexibility to work when you needed to work and run your business and make money, right?
Yep.
And
It
and
was a really weird time because like I said, it was around COVID. So like even in the dealership, it changed. Like I kind of would have stuck it out with a different dealership because you can once you have sales, you can literally sell cars anywhere, all over the United States. So I don't care what dealership it is, it can go from selling Fords to selling exotic Porsche. It's literally the same game because it's sales. All you really have to know is the product. So once I left Ford, I could have went to a different dealership and learned that product, and then I could have sold that product. But COVID hit, nobody was coming into the dealership, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to give up on myself. I want to actually do something to where I can actually help people, impact their lives at the same time. I wanted to do something where I had time freedom because that's one thing that I didn't have in my car dealer job. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, so I had no time for my family and no time for my kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to drop some of the questions that we have in here, and feel free to drop your questions because we're gonna get to the questions now. My guy Dammy. Dammy's a huge supporter of mine, man. I appreciate you, Dammy. Always here, always asking questions. So you says you have an auto loan that you just paid off earlier. How do you remove it from your report as hard inquiry? So I'm assuming you're asking if to remove the hard inquiry off the report, right? That's what I'm assuming. So you can answer that, Dre. Go ahead. Hit him with the answer for that.
So if it's an auto loan that you paid off and you paid it off early, um, that's a sticky one because typically when you're dealing with inquiries that are attached to open accounts, you don't want to dispute those because then the lender will actually they'll actually close that account down. But being that it's an auto loan and it's paid off, you could test it because they can't get the car back from you. How old is the inquiry? Man, how old is the inquiry?
Yeah, let us know, Dammy. He wants to know how old the inquiry is. So let us know for sure. Move on to the next one, and then he'll probably answer. Real Power 100. How much does it cost to work with your team?
So I have a expedited service. Like I said, we typically look to clean up credit reports within inside of a 30-day window. We do expedited credit repair, and it's 997. It's a one time upfront payment. It's 997. Um, and we remove any derogatories and suppress them and get them off your file within 30 days. Yep.
Absolutely. And you should be jumping into the Skool community for sure.
Sometimes it takes us 60. It all depends on how jacked up the stuff is, and like um, all credit reports and profiles are different. So if your stuff is like really like you got a lot of negative items, it might take us 60 days. But if it's not as many, we can typically clean up a lot of collections, charge offs, bankruptcies. We can clean that stuff up in a 30-day time frame for you. Yep.
Absolutely. And you should definitely be in the Skool community, bro. He has a lot of free
And
tools
it's
in there.
backed. It's backed. It's backed with a money back guarantee. That's my
Okay.
promise to
Oh,
you.
wow.
Money back guarantee. If it doesn't, if the items aren't deleted in 30 days, typically 60 days, we'll give you your full payment back, and then we'll continue to work on your file until the complete file is clean.
Oh, wow. Bro, if he's guaranteeing it, he's confident. All right. So you should absolutely be jumping in there because people don't guarantee it like that. All
This
right.
is
So
this is what I do. This is what we do, bro. This is what we do. I can guarantee it and I can stamp that. So, if like I said, you guys need the help, we can jump on a quick call. I'll see where you guys need the help and then we'll get it done.
yeah, definitely jump on the call. Let him see a report at least so that he can give you some more info. So Real Power 100, jump on that call, join the Skool community, and jump on the call with him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He says I appreciate this live so much. Absolutely. Dammy says,
I,
is it
I appreciate you guys for joining.
for sure? For sure. Dammy says, is it possible to get a credit card, get approved, and also have it removed as hard inquiry from your report?
So I'll touch on this. Yes. Short answer is yes. But you are playing with fire if you do this on the personal side. So if you do this on your personal side, say we have an institution like, let's just say Chase for an example. You get approved for a Chase personal credit card and you go and try to remove that inquiry. The best thing that you could possibly do is try to remove it as fast as you possibly can. It's still playing with fire. Me, I don't recommend it. I don't have my clients do it because typically what's going to happen is they're going to close that account down because there is how you dispute it. So how you dispute that inquiry, you're disputing it as not yours. And if you have the open account and it's attached to your profile, they're going to close that account. Now, if you do this on the business side, now if you're getting approved for a business credit card, this is where you can remove the inquiry and it doesn't affect you because that is not an open attached account on your personal profile. It reports to the business side. So if you're doing it with business credit cards, yes. If you're doing it with personal credit cards, you kind of just got to eat it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, be careful definitely if you're disputing and removing inquiries for accounts that you actually have because they will actually close you down. Dammy. So yeah, appreciate the answer on that. And he said for his question earlier, the inquiry is a little less than 2 years old.
If it's a little less than 2 years old, you should just ride it out, and it'll fall off after 2 years. So if you only got a couple more months on it, just let it ride, just ride it out, and then it'll fall off.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, make sure you continue to drop your questions in the chat. Make sure you drop your questions in the chat. I went ahead and gave you guys the link. All right, it's in the description, top of the description, to his free Skool community.
Tap in, tap in,
He has
definitely
all the
tap in with
info in
me.
there. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you right now that he had a conversation with me and he says he's going to restructure it. I did the exact same thing for the people who are in my community right now. All right, so if you wait too long and you have to pay more money because he's guaranteeing you credit repair,
If
guaranteeing it in
you
60
join the
days.
Skool, if you join the Skool community right now, you can literally join in there, and you can download all of my ebooks. You can download all of. I have a bunch of Google Docs in there. It's a bunch of docs. My personal credit ebook, my personal credit journey. It also gives you a few dispute letters, how to get out of check systems, um, backdoor Navy federal hacks, uh, credit unions ebook. It's got so much information in there, and you can literally join the Skool community for free, and you can download all of this until January 1st. This is when all of this stuff will have a lock on it, and then you're actually going to have to pay for those products. So, join in, jump in for free, download all the products, ask questions if you need, and come January 1st, I will be going back to hosting 2 calls per week live. One is I show people how to day trade the sports books, and the Wednesday call is kind of a credit to funding call. Just answering some credit repair and funding questions every Wednesday live inside the Skool group.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I don't see any more questions in here. So since there's no more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. Make sure you subscribe to my guy's channel, Drae Payton 1 on YouTube, at Drae Payton 1 on YouTube. All right. Smash a like on the video before you walk away from this live. I appreciate you guys for joining. I think we had like 7, 8 people in here at the peak. So I hope you guys found the information helpful. All right. So that's everything. I'll see you guys in the next live. Let's go.
I appreciate you having me, bro. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining.
Yes, sir.